Welcome back. My man Amin was on True Hoop podcast yesterday. I see you dropping knowledge and hit us with a pretty hot take. Amin thinks James Harden is better than Russell Westbrook. Amin, these are your words, so how about you go ahead and read it, big dog?
Sure. Put me down? Harden MVP 2? And leading the league in scoring and assists? Harden actually has shot selection? Harden's a better shooter?
When did you become a teenager? Okay, LZ, agree with Amin saying Harden is better than Westbrook? Oh, look at him. He's right there. Tell him.
All right.
Why?
The main reason why is that basketball, unfortunately for Harden, actually has two halves, or two sides of the court. There's the offensive side, and there's the defensive side. And we all know what happened was when you're on the other side of the court with Harden. Now, it's not just about Harden missing things or not being that much of an aggressive player on the defensive side. It's that Westbrook is actually a really good defensive player.
Yes.
He's actually in the top 20 in terms of defense, player defense efficiency.
You can't even say it right.
Well, you know what I can say?
Yeah.
That Harden led the league in shots missed, that Harden led the league in turnovers, and that Russell Westbrook, led him in player efficiency overall. So if you put those two things together, it doesn't look as if Harden is the better player.
Hello? You got something to say about that,
Got me. This streak is over. No, first of all, Russell Westbrook is what we like to call cosmetically a better defensive player because he's angry, because he's athletic. But when you watch the film, he's not a good defensive player. He gambles a lot. He blows a lot of gambles. He falls asleep. He's not good guarding off the ball. And on the ball.
Highlights at? Where are the highlights at?
Well, obviously I didn't get with Zach.
Oh, so you don't have any proof? You didn't get any proof of what you're trying to tell me?
No,
so you're making it up?
No, I'm not making it up. I just didn't sit down with the producers to get one like you did.
Well,
you're a better TV guy than I am. But my point is, defensively, they're both train wrecks. It's just one guy is super athletic, and so we assume that he's a better defensive player. Offensively, it's not even close. Harden's a better shooter. Harden's a better finisher. Harden's a better passer. Harden is better at every aspect of basketball other than rebounding.
Who was second in the league in assists?
It was that guy.
It was Westbrook, wasn't it?
Yeah, Harden was the best assist percentage shooting guard we saw in the NBA last year. To split the hairs of these two great players, I would have to go with it is Russell Westbrook. Now, it's almost a People magazine question of who wore it better. He wears basketball better than James Harden, and you can see James Harden sometimes lacks the intensity. At times, he gets bailed out because of him going into penetration looking for the foul. And people just don't see the same level of effort and production that they see. But he was voted by his peers as the best basketball player 2 years ago. Westbrook never was.
Listen to the True Hoop pod. I explain it a lot better.
Look at Westbrook broke his face and he kept playing. That's what you need to look at.
Next up, one fine day. The ATP announced that Nick Kyrgios received the maximum possible fine, $10,000, for showing a lack of best efforts when he appeared to tank his tennis match in the Shanghai Masters. He was also fined an additional $5,000 for verbal abuse of a spectator and $1,500 for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's $16,500 in total. I mean, is $16,500 enough for what he did?
I got 16.5 right now. Come on, man.
For working in the media.
Yeah. Thank you,
He
Disney.
saved it on that wardrobe. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Look, tennis is a sport that's had a lot of problems with betting, with people throwing matches, right? So the last thing you want to do is openly throw a match. It just doesn't have a good look to it. I don't mind him blasting the fans because I think fans are always super entitled, but he can't be out there openly throwing a match because of all the implications for it.
I agree with you, except tennis doesn't have a wide problem with throwing matches. It's perceived that way because of one report that came out, I believe it was last year. But with that being said...
Well, multiple players in that report, but I hear you.
Yeah. But with that being said, Nick Kyrgios, the thing that's so disappointing is that this is the youngest guy in the top 20. This is the guy that won 3 titles this year. This is the guy who just won the biggest tournament of his career last week. We're expecting big things from him, and so for him to go out like that with all eyes on him is bad for the sport. Not just him, but bad for the sport. I'm just curious about the 16.5 fine. That just seemed like a real quirky sort of number. So we sort of went back through and took a look at some of the other fines that happens when you do bad things on the tennis court. Now, see, if you cuss out somebody in the side and say that you're going to shove a ball down someone's throat, $82,500. Now, if you go and you go off on like an umpire chair, then what is this? This is $10,000, and this is my favorite kind of fine. If you're going to spend $10,000, do it, but you don't get fined for dancing.
I get you.
You can still twerk in the tennis and not get fined.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it was a misdemeanor, I think, and the slap on the wrist was appropriate. 16-5 shows we're trying to protect the integrity of the sport, make sure we protect and promote that, because you have to come in as a fan, as a spectator, respecting that this is going to be true competition, not a guy who's just having a bad day and doesn't want to play tennis. So
just walk away.
Yeah.
Just walk away. Quit.
Yeah, I respect that.
Or pull out and say that you're injured or whatever, but don't
okay, you want to go there?
Well, I mean, it happens.
Nasty. We got to go, but first, here are some Jimmy Fallon NFL superlatives. You're nasty, dog.
I'm just
for real.
Our first player is Anthony Costanzo. He was voted most likely to appear on the cover of an NFL romance novel. Jeremy Vunovich. He was voted most likely to walk out of the bathroom and say, might want to give it a couple of days. Vince Wilfork from the Houston Texans. He was voted most likely to be a genie that gets stuck while trying to come out of his lamp. Well, that's not good. Brock Osweiler. He was voted most likely to extend his neck like E.T. when he senses danger. Kendall Langford. He was voted most likely to laugh and say animals can't talk while he watches Zootopia by himself. T.Y. Hilton. He was voted most likely to have a cousin named F.U. Marriott. Next up is Greg Manx. He was voted most likely to be every boyfriend from Teen Mom combined into one. And finally, here's Tom Savage. He was voted Croatian Nicolas Cage.
No respect on his name. Better put some respect on Carmelo Anthony's name, who's pretty upset about being ranked number 15 in Slam Online's player rankings. Yesterday, when the ranking came out on Instagram, damn, they ain't got magazines no more. Melo let Slam know what he thought about the posting. Don't play yourself. And all credibility lost in my eyes. Whoa, look at that. And you can see the online ranking right there. Carmelo Anthony just one under Blake Griffin. So I got to ask you this question, y'all know what I mean? Was the ranking insulting?
Well, Keek the Sneak. Here's the thing. What's he arguing here? That he should have been 12? Not like I believe in his mind he's thinking 3 to 5, something like that, and he's not 3 to 5. And so you can split hairs and talk about should he have been higher, a little bit lower, but that's around the range where he's at. But again, players are going to be super kind of confident about themselves.
Look at those faces.
And if you're a superstar player, you should think of yourself as a top 5 player at all times when you are a superstar player, which Carmelo Anthony still is. My thing is why is this a story? Like, is it a story because it's still like the preseason and we ain't for real yet?
No.
Because listen.
Because of media, because of y'all.
because, I mean, to me, it's like some dude responding on Instagram about some magazine that not a whole lot of people read. I mean, so I'm trying to figure
wow.
Man, somebody didn't get a job at Slam in high school.
It's based upon the metrics. I'm just talking about the numbers. It's not like it's New York Times that came out with this. It's Slam magazine, which is a fun magazine. I read Slam. I don't want to throw any shade, but the fact is that.
Oh, now you don't claim that.
I do read it, but it's not like a huge.
It doesn't matter if it's huge or not. We're talking about the ego of a Carmelo Anthony, who is a global icon. No matter what you think of him as a player, he can go anywhere in this world and be respected and garner attention. I think this is a guy who misread this and understanding that, look, if you're 15, the way I would have took this is as a compliment. The compliment is this. There are 30 NBA teams, and you think that I am single-handedly better than half of those teams to be ranked 15. There are 15 other teams that could march out every single guy on their roster, and Carmelo can laugh at those guys. And only 14 in the league better than him, and he must respect the youth movement. There are a lot of good young players ahead of him.
I'm sorry. I just don't go with that. If you are an all-star caliber player, if you are the greatest Olympic men's basketball player of all time, which he is.
All time.
Which she is, then you do not think, well, I'm glad I'm better than half the league. No, you still think you're a top 5 player at all times. So I can understand
let me just say this. I like the don't play yourself, but the next comment after that, just a little too far. You lost your credibility. That sounds like you're crying. Don't play yourself was a lot cooler.
I get you.
Really?
Well, let's move on to Nobody's Fool, and let's talk about JaVale McGee. You all right, JaVale? JaVale McGee's trying to revive his career with the Warriors, as we all know. And over the years, McGee he's become better known for his bloopers than his play. He addressed being part of segments like TNT Shaqtin' a Fool, saying, fans think I'm a dumb person. It's just really disappointing that grown men 50, LZ 40, Amin and Euros are having America's funniest home videos of a player. And then making it a hashtag and really just trying to ruin someone's career over basketball mistakes. Mr. 50-year-old LZ, do you feel sympathy for JaVale McGee?
Well, son, yes, I do. Because he's actually is a smart guy if you actually spent any time with him. And I mean, this is a kid that went to Detroit Country Day. And if you look at some of the other athletes that went to Detroit Country Day, Chris Webber, Shane Battier, these are not dummies. That school does not let in dummies. He is not a dummy. His mom, Pamela McGee, has worked with him since he was a little kid.
So what? He's not on Shaqtin the Fool because he's his IQ.
No,
it's not an IQ test to be on Shaqtin the Fool.
It's not an IQ test, but what has happened is because people only know him from these highlights, they now think that he's a dumb individual, which is what he's saying. And he's not a dumb individual. He's made some dumb plays, but he is a smart player, and he has high basketball IQ because of all the time that he spent with his mom, not only just here in the U.S., but he's traveled internationally as well.
What the hell does that matter? It's not a Wonderlic segment. It's a segment on are you doing things that are jeer or things that are Shaqtin the Fool on there.
The question is, are you dumb?
And let's speak of this.
Are you dumb?
Let's look at this. He's been on our show countless times before, and I like JaVale McGee as a dude. He's a cool cat. I support his charities and everything. But these are plays that happen because what you give the content, you give the segment that ammunition. So this is as simple as I can say it. We don't create the content.
I agree.
We create the segment, and then you fill it in with your mistakes.
But the larger question was, is he a dumb athlete? And the reason why I'm saying he's not a dumb athlete because he's not a dumb person. He's not a dumb athlete. He's
I don't see dumb at the bottom.
plays.
I don't see dumb at the bottom of
It
that
was
team.
in his quote, but you know, I was just reading the stats.
The thing, first of all, he needs to take cover, man, because that 50-year-old, 40-year-old, we can joke around. He's talking about Shaq. And Shaq, I don't know if you guys know this, the consummate one-upsman. You make a little joke, he will destroy your whole life. Just because you made a little joke. Shout out to my boy Lou Amundsen, who went through the worst torture ever just because he stuffed Shaq's car with styrofoam peanuts one time. It was, it's too long and too sordid a story to tell. But JaVale McGee, yes, it's very sordid. But JaVale McGee, he's not a stupid human being. But I think it's safe to say those are stupid basketball plays.
Right, exactly.
And he makes a lot of them. So at what point
A lot
of stupid
He's been in the
plays.
league for 8 years. You
No,
show the
actually,
same 3 highlights.
You got to separate your IQ from your basketball IQ.
And 3 same highlights.
That's what this segment does. Look, JaVale needs a crash course on stardom. This is what comes with being a guy in the league and a guy making those kind of mistakes. Just got to accept it.
By the way,
can I go to the next segment?
I don't know. Just look at his hair is what I was going to say. Like, you can't say I want to be taken seriously and then have that haircut.
You are crazy. All right, let's go down. Bad news, it's time for 3 jeers. And 1 jeer is for my man, Eric Bledsoe. You going to say something about his hair, too? You know what I mean?
Nah,
Son Jazz, Bledsoe tries to pass the ball, but he hits his teammate in the back instead.
That ain't his fault.
Oh, okay.
Book you the star. You should look for the ball.
Now, you think Bledsoe going to be mad he's going to be on Shaqtin the Fool? I mean, how does this go?
It's preseason. Do you do preseason Shaqtin?
2 jeers for Brent Seabrook. Got to feel the content. Blackhawks Blues. Seabrook attempts to pass
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Open goal.
You had one job.
Listen, I see buckets. All I see are buckets.
That's his new name, C-Bucket.
Yeah, look at him. He didn't even try to get it.
Come on.
He left his boys out there to dry. And 3 jeers for Steve Johnson. Yep, you guys know who he is.
That's a real...
Steve Johnson goes up to serve and loses his racket in the process.
Wow. Why is he going to porn stars
bicycle
again?
kicked
I
it back.
told him stop going to porn stars. That's why he lost his racket.
You leave that man alone. Nick Kyrgios has been fined over $16,000 for tanking a tennis match. But does the punishment fit the crime? We discuss next. We're going to ask you that, LZ. This is Sports Nation.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. And in part by Lee Jeans. Move your Lee.